Hey everyone, this is Whitney with my week 2 video discussion post. Sorry if I look tired and like I don't feel good. I am. Um, so this week's activity, I honestly found it like the whole process more interesting than I thought I would. Um, Starting with the Wayback Machine, it was kind of wild to see the older versions of websites, and it made me realize how much cleaner and more simple the internet used to be. There was just way less going on. I think of like all the ads and pop-ups and all those things, fewer distractions, and it felt more like you were just looking at the information you went looking for and not getting things from all different directions. And then the Wikipedia race was fun. I also found it kind of frustrating though. It showed like everything's tied together very much, and but it was like easy to get distracted or go down a rabbit hole or whatever. And I found myself clicking on things that weren't really helpful. And then the hardest part for me was navigating the George Fox website um, without using the search. It made me realize how dependent I am on search bars. I think of like, I'll even go to documents sometimes and control F and search up like a word that will help me find the information I'm looking for. I don't really just browse anymore. I type in what I want and I expect it to populate. Clicking through the pages felt so slow, and it also kind of made me pay more attention to how things are actually organized. Even when I'm like in my phone settings, I just search for what I want. And I've never really considered that. A big thing that I noticed is how much the internet now is more suited for speed and to be convenient for the users. We expect things to just happen instantly, and the internet really gives that to us. Um, and if we don't find it right away, like I can think of how many times I've been having issues with my technology and been like so frustrated. I'm like, I could bang my head on a wall, especially with online schooling. And it's funny to think about how this process would have been if it was the beginning of the internet, you know? Um, as far as like tips go, I'd say something that giving myself tips really, I'm gonna slow down and actually read things and browse through them and look for keywords and like obviously not read every single word to find what I'm looking for, but browse through and find what I'm looking for instead of just clicking. And yeah, I think that that's a big thing. And for the Wikipedia race, trying to think a couple steps ahead instead of just clicking the first thing you see. I think of how often I Google something and I'm like, the first result is obviously the right answer. I did that with a tattoo shop recently when I was in a different city. I'm like, tattoo shops, first one, that must be the best one. Um, and yeah, that's obviously not the wisest way to do things. Tracking my digital trail was eye opening. I didn't realize how often I'm going between apps and just picking up my phone without thinking. It also made me think of how often in reality I pick up my phone to look at something specific and I end up on TikTok or um I don't sometimes Google. Like I'll be going to do something specific and I'll think of a random question and I'm Googling it and then I'm like, I never checked the time 10 minutes ago, you know? Um, I think overall this made me just kind of think more about my online behavior, and it's a habit. My online life is a habit that I have formed, and it's almost never intentional. When I get on to George Fox, when I get onto Canvas, is really the only time I think that my internet use is intentional. Um, yeah, I'm curious to see how everyone else feels. I was actually surprised by how much I enjoyed this and how interested I was in it. Have a good week.